Hi, my name is Ken. I wrote the microbiome analysis site for patients. Um, this is the second of a series of extended videos, and this one is going to be focusing on hand-picking the bacteria that you wish to change. Okay, now once you log on, you see the quick suggestion, which makes a bunch of assumptions for you automatically. You have advanced suggestions, which is what most people do. Here you get to go and pick which sample you want, which is straightforward. And now you are able to specify filtering, as in what you wish to include or what don't you wish to include. You can do it by how far away it is from the typical values. Is it in the top 3%, top 6%, top 9%? Do you want to restrict it to certain levels of bacteria? Do you want to go and then see if it has association with a particular medical condition or diagnosis? You can then choose if you want to include information about parents and child modifiers for a bacteria. In other words, um, if you're looking at a genus level, if you're looking at child, sometimes the literature reports a change for a child, which we don't have reported for the parent. In some cases, it won't affect all the parents, but only some of them. But so it becomes more fuzzy, not as precise as when we have a explicit citation that a particular bacteria at a particular level of hierarchy is modified by something. So we include those because if you don't have information, they give you some information and it is reasonably expected to be accurate. On the right side, we have the scope of what we want to do. So we just basically go in, set the values, and click suggestions, and the suggestions are then shown on the next page, etc. We always use the same suggested algorithms, regardless of how you select the bacteria. But the catch is you may not this may not actually be an absolutely perfect fit for you. You may have a medical condition or multiple medical conditions. You may have certain symptoms which are really driving you around the wall, and you somehow want to find what is a group of bacteria which I'm really concerned about or really want to change. And we have implemented the ability for you to handpick which bacteria you want to look at. And we'll start off with Old Fan Bacteria Explorer Plus, which shows you all of your bacteria. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Okay, here's the Symptom Explorer part, which we can do. Okay, and you can go down and you can see we have a variety of things. Select which journey I would suggest doing one at a time, but you can do more if you want. Apply choices below. It now goes and shows you the bacteria associated with this condition, in which case this is mast cell dysfunction, and it shows you whether or not your numbers match or don't match. Notice that we have a relatively few number of people, but we do have some significance. And for example, here we have one significant, so we could mark this one, which is a particular species to be included. And up here, notice this one would not have been excluded because it didn't make the level of significance, but I decided personally to make that choice. If I go down further, I see other things that have exact matches. I could go and click those. I could have some near misses, and I'll say, okay, I want to include those. So what we now have is we have selected the bacteria which I'm interested in. We click this magic button, and suddenly we have 3 new buttons appearing. Let's click the first button. The first button goes and shows you what you picked, your values, and other information. It's basically informational of what is in your current bucket of bacteria. Okay, now, and we can now go over to what I originally was going to do, which is My Biome View. My Biome View goes and shows all the bacteria which you have, and you can go through and do the same thing, and you say, okay, wait a minute, I'm not happy about that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one. I could select all of them, but since I'm probably going to do parents and children, then I want to don't need to select above and below because those will come in automatically. So that's one there I want. Here's another one which I want to take a look at and see what it is. I can see what my readings are for various lab samples here. And so we go back and we go and we click saying I want to add this one. We go further down and we say, I'm really not happy about all that red, so I'm going to click that one too. We now go back up, click the same button as before. We back to our sample page. Let's look at the hand-picked taxa. And we have the new ones which are added in automatically. So now we have a bigger bucket of bacteria, which are what we want to modify. We can go back to change samples again, which will show us what samples which we have. And I'm going to do the last one, Medical Condition Explorer Plus. And it gives a variety of conditions. For example, here's chronic fatigue syndrome. And I can go down through this list and I see this one I am low on. I am in the bottom segment here. And looking at other counts, this one I'm a bit high in high, so I'm going to include this one. And again, the same thing as before. We go and let's go and see what we have in taxa. There are the two new ones which we just added. And we say, okay, those are the bacteria which I'm concerned about, either because I have the symptoms associated with it, or because I have the medical conditions associated with this bacteria, or I just don't like the looks of the values I have for those bacteria, even though there is no medical literature or discovered symptom relationship. I just don't like the look of it. It's your choice. And we now go and we click the hand-picked taxa, which goes down and shows things as before. Everyone you have a custom bacteria selection on is shown here. So it's there, and I'm going to include parents and children. I'm going to go and jack this up to 40 just for the fun of it. And let's see what comes up. And what comes up is a list of the items with a probability estimate. The probability estimate is a probability of it causing a change, not how much change, just the probability of causing a change. Item do decrease. We have a probiotic mixture. Goes on forever. We have favorited foods suggesting, oh, apple, apple, apple. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. In this case, my program says the same thing. Very amusing. And then we have the particular type of flavonoids which would be suggested from there. I think like particular vitamin B, folic acid, niacin, thiamine, advocating drinking coffee or tea. And then we have some other things. Some of the other things you may be a little confused as to what they are. If you click through, it will go and show you what foods contain this substance and how much per gram. And what we find is it's basically saying that peppermint is probably the best source. Grapefruit also has it, blood orange, and Welsh onion fresh. Good luck finding that, and that is below 0.01. It has some, but it's a very, very small amount. So we are now have done a quick walkthrough of how you custom select. If you are there and you say, okay, that's nice, but I really not happy with that selection. I want to make a new selection. Just click clear hand, pick the taxa. It's gone, and I can start building up a new bucket of bacteria and see what suggestions for those. Again, this gives you complete control. You can select things at each particular level as fine as you want, and hopefully you will get much better results, but you have to walk through the stuff to deal with the complexity of your medical conditions and your symptoms. I cannot automatically do the magic for you. That's pressing things a little bit too far. And besides, you really want to have control of that yourself. You want to make those decisions, or your physicians with you make those decisions as to which bacteria you want to focus on. Okay, that's it. It's actually a short one. I was expecting it to be longer. And go try it, enjoy.